Well, the Oscars just happened. Good old Oscar himself just turned 90. We get to talk about some of the best films of last year, and none of you care. No, really. I guess this show had the lowest ratings of any Oscars show ever, breaking an all-time low record. And yeah, from what I've heard from people, a lot of you really just don't care about the Oscars anymore. Whether it's because it's too political or just boring and irrelevant. The Oscars really aren't that enjoyable to watch anymore. And I actually do enjoy watching the Oscars, but this year's Oscars, I just kind of felt meh about it. So, I want to change that. I want to make a list of 5 ways we can make the Oscars better. And to do that, I'm actually going to take some examples from the Video Game Awards show, as I felt that was a pretty good show. Now, when the Video Game Awards first started around, it wasn't always good. In fact, 2013's award show was probably one of the worst award shows I've ever watched. Don't believe me? Just watch this little clip of the 3-hour show that happened.
Our GTA 5 live performance is coming up, but right now, we're checking in with Waves.
Yeah, we're checking in.
Now, you guys are on the Grand Theft Auto 5 soundtrack. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
About yourself.
Oh, hi.
Nathan!
We're Waves.
Hi.
That's Nathan and that's Steven.
Steven!
And I'm Jasper.
Hi. We're Waves.
Are you guys band?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you make?
I'm 5'11", I'm like 230 pounds, but I'm trying to lose weight.
Yes,
And we
yes.
clap it up
That's
for that
all
every
that
time,
matters.
don't we?
That's all that matters.
Healthy choice.
I love myself. Hi, Mom.
Yes, yes.
I don't want to go anywhere with that guy.
Me either.
This guy here,
2002
all.
Kanye
see
West.
this hand?
I like potatoes.
I will
Yes. This is amazing. 30 seconds left. Well,
Potatoes.
smack you. I like
Potatoes. Potatoes.
I'll wrap it up. Shh. All right. Now you voted for it, and due to our... Oh, never mind. Back to you, Joel. Yeah!
Potatoes. Potatoes.
Holy crap.
Again, I want to apologize for that cringy clip, but trust me, they got a lot better, and over time, they ended up becoming so much more of a legitimate show that they even started throwing shade at the actual Oscars. And yeah, I feel like as the Video Game Awards show is getting better and better, I feel like the Oscars is just not evolving, and it's starting to really lose people. So, let's talk about the 5 ways I think the Oscars could be better. So first off, let's make this more of an award show and less of Saturday Night Live, alright? Every Oscars show tries to add in comedy to make itself more appealing, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind a good joke from time to time, and I won't say that they never made me laugh. If you have a quick and funny joke, maybe before you present an award, that's fine. But there are so many moments where the Oscars just goes overboard, whether it's someone trying to improvise and just go on and on with these cringy jokes, or they just have some ridiculous gimmick, whether it's someone who might win a jet ski, some box that you're wondering what's inside, but you'll never actually find out throughout the show. Or Ellen getting selfies and ordering pizza, Jimmy Kimmel poking fun at Matt Damon, Chris Rock trying to raise money for his daughter's Girl Scouts. It just has nothing to do with the show. It just takes up time and it's unnecessary. Alright, again, I don't mind humor, but just like with a stand-up comedian, if his jokes are bad, then he shouldn't be up there. I remember in the Video Game Awards show when they had Hydrobot and they were trying to promote Slick Hydro, but it was so cringy and it went on for the whole show and I hated it. And then last year, this guy actually had a clever joke. It was a small little joke about microtransactions and a lot of gamers were able to actually relate to that. It was a nice little joke, and the best part, even if you didn't like that joke, it was done and over with. It's not like the joke went on for like 10 minutes, and I feel like all these people who are making jokes on stage They should get to the point. Now that we've cut a lot of time from this show by cutting all these cringy jokes and gimmicks, what are we going to put in the show? Because you don't want just a boring show of people being presented awards. Well, another thing about the VGAs that I really loved that kept me watching it was exclusive reveals. Because why should we just look back when we can also look forward? Every time I was getting bored of the Video Game Awards show and was ready to turn it off, they would reveal a new game, whether it was a trailer or a bit of gameplay, and I got excited and kept watching, because now not only am I looking forward to who's gonna win what, I'm looking forward to new games coming out. And I feel like the Oscars could really benefit from that. I mean, let me tell you what, I bet you 10 to 1 a lot more people would be watching if they showed a new trailer for Infinity War or Pacific Rim Uprising, or if we got to see our first look at things like Venom in the Venom movie, or Avatar 2, a film that's been in production for like a decade. It would really make the Oscars more interesting, and both sides would benefit. The filmmakers would be able to promote their film more, and it would give the Oscars higher ratings. The best part is, you don't even have to put it during the show. You could do it during like commercials or something. Kind of like how the Super Bowl will play an exclusive movie trailer in between halftime. You could have like movie trailers between each award during like commercial break. It's a really smart idea, and I feel like the Oscars should really capitalize on it. I know they want to present every award, give everyone the honorable mention, and they want to make everyone feel equal, but there are certain awards that are just not as big a deal as other awards. Yeah, I don't mind if they have some build up for the best movie of the year or best actor and actress, but do we really need to spend a 10-minute build up for best costume design or best live action short film? Again, bringing up the VGAs, in between commercial breaks, after the commercial break would go by, they would present a smaller award right away. They would just say, oh, this is the best fighting game, or this is the best soundtrack. You didn't have to get some big speech followed by a big build-up. The smaller awards would just get presented, and then they would actually have a build-up in announcing the nominees for the bigger awards. I just feel like it would be a lot more tolerable if we were to just skim through some of the smaller stuff so we can get to the good stuff. Now, this next point is a bit of a touchy subject considering today's times, and I will admit, I do not hate a lot of the stances that the Oscars take when it comes to them being political. Yes, I like the idea of equality and diversity. I do feel like all races and genders should be given equal recognition. That said though, the thing is, Hollywood, you're not exactly always politically correct, and even though I don't mind the occasional good speech about diversity, equality, I will admit a lot of times you do push politics down our throat, and I feel like there's no better way to explain Hollywood trying to be political than this clip from Team America.
If we focus our acting on global politics, we can change everything and stuff. As actors, it is our responsibility to read the newspapers and then say what we read on television like it's our own opinion. Matt Damon.
No offense, Hollywood, but you're just not exactly the most diverse group in the world. So you spending an entire award show talking about just diversity is almost hypocritical. And again, I don't care about, people wanting to express their political beliefs. I mean, I thought that McDermott's speech was actually pretty nice, but when every single person has like a 20-minute speech about a political stance, it gets annoying. And a lot of the criticisms I've heard about the Oscars is people who are tired of hearing about political statements when they came to just watch an award show. Alright, we should be honoring the movies, not political statements, alright? You should spend more time actually honoring the cast and crew, the people who made this movie possible, your own loved ones and family who inspired you to make this movie. Give the credit toward the people who actually deserve it for tonight, instead of trying to make some big statement because you think that because you're a celebrity, you're just going to change the world overnight. Now, there's been a lot of criticism about all the judges being biased, about how 70% of them are all male and 90% of them are all white, and whether it's a race thing, a bias thing, or the fact that literally like 60% of all genre films that are nominated are just dramas and pretty much everything else is left out. Whatever your reason is, we can all agree that the Oscars always look toward a certain category of films. In fact, most of the films that are nominated every year are usually the films that come out towards the end of the year, and a lot of us like to call all these films Oscar bait films. Now, I won't lie, with each year we do get some exceptions of the Oscars branching out into more popular, more mainstream films. Last year, Mad Max Fury Road really cleaned house, which was surprising. And this year, The Shape of Water was nominated Best Picture, which a film like that was pretty surprising. Even though it was an artsy film, it was also a very weird sci-fi film, and the Oscars usually steer away from that. And seeing movies like Logan and Blade Runner getting nominations is always nice too, but the problem is a lot of these more mainstream and popular films that people love are usually pushed to the side for other awards that, you know, they would obviously get, like Best Sound and Visual Effects, but never anything for Best Screenplay or Best Story or just Best Film. I mean, it would have blown my mind if Logan actually won for Best Adapted Screenplay, but obviously it didn't. I remember during the 2016 Game Awards when Overwatch won Game of the Year over Doom and Titanfall 2, I was pissed because I thought Doom and Titanfall 2 were much higher quality games. But looking back, I can understand why they picked Overwatch, not just because they judged it by quality, but by how much it influenced the gaming community. When I look back, Overwatch is clearly the most influential of all the nominees, and I feel like the Oscars should be like that. Instead of just looking at the most artsy film or the films with the highest quality, they should look at the films that truly impact moviegoers. I mean, I'm not saying every movie and every blockbuster should be nominated, but seriously, think about it. Which movie will you probably remember a decade down the road? A movie about Wonder Woman giving people empowerment and fighting off forces of evil? A movie about an evil clown that feeds off children's fears and forcing them to work together and overcome their fears to stop him? Or another Steven Spielberg movie starring Tom Hanks? I mean, most of the nominees, people probably haven't even watched those movies. And to be honest, the reason we use the phrase Oscar bait a lot is because the Oscars always have a certain criteria with their choices of films. For example, some of their films will always have some person of color struggling to fit in society. You'll have films about musicals and Hollywood. You'll have films about people dealing with their homosexuality. And you'll, like I said, have a film made by Steven Spielberg just because it's Steven Spielberg. I mean, Tom Hanks has so many Oscars, he's starting to tape them to his car, alright? I feel like we really should give some of these more popular films some attention, whether it's films that were really good but came out during the beginning of the year so they were sort of forgotten, to just big blockbusters that had so much impact. I mean, it's important to judge them by quality as well, but let's be honest, I'm not going to remember 3 Billboards 5 years down the road. But a movie like Pulp Fiction or Citizen Kane or Shawshank Redemption, films that were snubbed from the Oscars, I will remember those films till the day I die. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Do you like my ideas, or do you guys think this would only make the Oscars worse? What would make you guys want to watch the Oscars more? I also want to let you guys know that upon the day I did work on the audio for this video, I was in Florida. So if you notice a lot of disorientation and background noise in the audio, that's why. And yeah, I want to make more video essays and maybe game and movie reviews as well as game playthroughs in between my bigger projects like short films and machinimas. So stay tuned for all those videos and I'll see you guys next time.